Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. My name is Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures. And more often than not, they are celebrities, and that will certainly be the case today as I examine the astrological chart of pop star Justin Timberlake, who has been in the news recently for for many reasons. There was the Britney autobiography, which called him out for lots of things, which we won't get into now. I actually have a Sinistry video for him and Britney, which you can watch. That's available, so you can, after this, if you want to check that out. It's right. It's on my channel. I'm going to look at him as an individual today. He was recently arrested for DUI. He was driving under the influence in New York. Was it New York? The Hamptons is New York, right? Like, guys, I'm Australian. Like, I don't know American geography that well, but I think the Hamptons is New York, right? So yeah, he got arrested for that, and the cop was 22 years old. Didn't even know his name. If the cop's 22, then that means he was probably born in 2001 and 2002, which would have been his peak as a pop star. So that's so embarrassing. Anyway, so what I want to do here today is have a look at his chart, understand his motivations, his temperament, what are his relationships like, what is he all about? Like, who is Justin Timberlake? Because in the last, 10, 15 years since he's married to Jessica Biel, he's been like the wife guy. Like, he's got, 2 or 3 beautiful children with one of the most beautiful women in the world. And he's cheated on her. He cheated on Britney too. Like, what is, like, this guy just keeps getting, like, the creme de la creme of, hot women in the world, and he keeps cheating on them. Like, what the hell? What the heck? So yeah, do you remember was it 2020 or 2021? He was in Louisiana. He was on Bourbon Street holding his co-star's hand on a balcony. He got caught, and Jessica still stayed with him. I don't know what it is with people who are like Pisces placements. Like, they're so loving, like they'll just stick with a shitty person because maybe they love the pain. I don't know. Jessica, you're better. You're so, like, Jessica, if you're watching, you're hot. Like, and you're a damn fine actress. Just letting you know that if you let him go, your career would go a little bit better. Your career would do better. It would go further. Just letting you know, putting it out there. Okay, so before I dive in, I just want you guys to know, almost 50% off 60-minute readings, gone, not doing them again. I mean, I might do readings in the future, and it'll be much more controlled. I'm not going to say I'm never going to do face-to-face readings again, but for now, they are discontinued. But I do offer the 20-minute recorded readings, MP3 readings. They're currently 30% off for July. So if you want a reading from me, you like what I do, and you want to support me, that's the best way to go. Once all the slots, once all the orders are done, like for July, that's it. There's no more. So jump on it now, because the prices will change after July. So, and the 20-minute 30% off readings, you don't have to meet me. They are emailed to you. So when you book it, just put down all your questions and what you want from the reading, and then I will answer. Okay? All right, let's have a look at Justin Timberlake's chart. I just did Donald Trump's chart, and here we are with another Leo rising in trouble. That Pluto transit, man, that Pluto is just like it's causing problems for Leo placements a little bit. Here, Leo rising, midheaven in Taurus. That's his boy next door image. There is Chiron here. No wonder he did what he did to Britney. It's so insecure. Threw under a bus and then danced on her grave and under a spotlight. Bastard. Yeah, so he's got Chiron up there. And then he's got this Libra stellium, which you guys bought in the early 80s. You got this, you got that Pluto, you got that Jupiter. Some of you got that Saturn. That's in the 3rd house. He gives me like a big fish in a small pond energy with that. And then what is all this dysfunction here with this Uranus in the 4th? And there's Lilith and Juno in a conjunction, the 2 angry wives. What's going on with his family? Is his dad a cheater too? There's just, listen, I know that in Brittany's book, I read it, she talked about how Justin's family was like, from what I gathered, from like quite stable, I guess. And they helped Brittany out a lot. But I'm looking at his chart and I see Uranus in the fourth, which means that he moved around a lot, which could be attributed to him being a child performer, a child actor, and having to like, go on the bus and tour and do performances and things like that. So maybe that Uranus in the fourth indicates just a lot of movement and activity as a child, or moving home quite young, which can be quite traumatic. But Uranus is the planet of instability. It's planet of progress, which is very positive, but it's also the planet of chaos. And chaos in the fourth house, where you rest your head, where you eat your breakfast and dinner. Like, the fourth house is meant to be a warm house. It's meant to be a comfortable house. So if you've got an uncomfortable planet in there, that means that your childhood or your home life was uncomfortable and there was a lot of chaos. Like, things were either really busy. Maybe you were born to, parents that were really alternative. Like, Uranus in the fourth house, people can grow up in really unconventional homes. It doesn't mean it's a bad home or an unloving home, but it can be chaotic. It can be difficult. And then on top of this, he's got Lilith and Juno here. So, which are what I call the angry wives. Like, Juno represents marriage. It's one of the astrological bodies in the chart that represent marriage, but it's not like Venus that's like the romantic loving part. It's not like Jupiter, which is like happy and benefic, because Jupiter also represents the husband, marriage. Juno's his wife, but Juno's not happy in this marriage. But she stays faithful and she sticks with him, and she's unhappy and she causes trouble. Like, Juno, Hera in the Greek and Roman myths. Yeah, that girl, that bitch, she was angry. And then Lilith in Jewish myth was, the divorced wife who left the Garden of Eden, this patriarchal paradise, to go live in the wilderness because she was like, fuck this, I'm out. Those two bitches be doing a dance in Scorpio. Yes, in the third house, but because Scorpio's in the fourth house, it plays into that fourth house. So I'm wondering, because he is a cheater, it's well documented now. I'm wondering if daddy was a cheater and granddaddy was a cheater and the women put up with it. That's what I'm wondering with that. And if, let's just say, his mother was with him the entire time while he was touring around the country or with Disney or whatever, who's not to say his dad was being a shithead? Because it seems like Justin has the capacity to be a real shithead when he's married. And I think with him having Uranus in the fourth, he kind of craves excitement in his intimate world. Like, he needs to kind of have drama. I'm not saying that he is like processing that intellectually, like he's cerebrally being like, oh, like, yes, I really want to ruin my marriage and ruin my whole life and have lots of affairs. I don't think he's doing that. I just think he is attracted to situations where he is tempted. He enjoys being watched. He enjoys being looked at. He enjoys being praised. He enjoys potentially being on the road and having lots of fans. It's Uranus. Uranus is a generational planet. It governs Aquarius and the 11th house. It's a public planet, right? And it's in his fourth house of intimacy. And he made his intimate life very public when he wrote that whole album Justified in 2020? Was it 2020? Was it 2003? Yeah. He took his fourth house and put it up into his midheaven. Talking, cry me a river. You asked for it, Justin. And look, another placement where there's dysfunction in the home. The moon, okay, so the moon governs the fourth house, right? So we just talked about the fourth house. His moon plays into his fifth house. It's just like sitting on that fifth house cusp. So moon in Sagittarius, oh my God, just like Donald Trump. He's not that, he's kind of like Donald Trump a little bit. He's got the similar placements. Jeez. Even Jupiter in Libra. He's got a lot of, he's giving Donald Trump. And I talked about him in that video having trouble with settling and he always feeling perpetually dissatisfied. Moon in Sagittarius is perpetually dissatisfied, always hungry. If someone has a moon in Sagittarius, they often do really well overseas, like living in a foreign country or being a bit of a nomad. I reckon if he was in a home all the time, like I can imagine if he and Jessica Biel live in the same house for the last 10 years, that would be very stifling for him. I'm not justifying anything that he's done, but Sagittarius moons love to move. They love experimentation. They love to expand their horizons because that's what Sagittarius is all about, intellectual and spiritual expansion. Now, if you have that sign, that's your moon sign, then where do you need to expand spiritually, intellectually? In your intimate world. So that's why it's a very hungry moon. It's a very dissatisfied moon. It always needs more, more, more. Once they get what they want, they throw it away because then they get bored and they need that new thing. Insatiable appetite for adventure. And that's probably why he's so self-destructive. And he gets away with it. Look how well aspected that moon is. So he's been doing this for years. It's only now of like he's like karma's caught up to him, yeah. But he got away with this for so long. So long. The Neptune conjunction is exact. The Neptune conjunction is exact. If anyone's better at degrees, can you let me know what 24 is in the comments? Like if you know what the 24 degree is, because doesn't it count as a 6? Can you let me know what that means? Because that will help. That might help us analyze this a little bit more accurately. But I can tell you with Neptune in a conjunction with the moon, there's a lack of boundaries in the home. It kind of it perpetuates that hunger. Neptune governs Pisces, so it's the planet of heaven and hell and fantasy and delusion and addiction. The planet of addiction lies in a conjunction with the planet of emotional processing. So I do reckon he has an addictive personality. But he's almost like a functioning addict because it is so well aspected. It doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean that he's not going to pay for it one day, because obviously he is now. Like it could, like, but for a long time, I think he's probably been an addict a very long time, since his youth. So yeah, this here is a lack of boundaries. This here is a hungry, dissatisfied person. This is someone who longs for adventure, who does not want to be anchored into anything. In fact, he probably just needs to live like a nomad. He probably needs to like live like a cowboy. Anyway. Now let's talk about this Venus. He's got a Venus in Capricorn. From memory, he and Brittany both have Capricorn Venuses that lie in a conjunction. I think they're almost exact. They might actually be exact. So Venus in Capricorn, I wouldn't like feelings, like sexual connection and feelings and romance are not enough. There needs to be an element of utility and practicality for a Venus in Capricorn to feel comfortable enough to be in a relationship. So I know his moon is incredibly impractical, like emotionally very impractical. But in terms of his Venus and what he needs to commit, he needs someone he can work with, or someone he can use, someone who will work with him, someone who is going to be a bit of a colleague in a relationship or a marriage. Capricorn is the sign of utility, right? Capricorn is money and stability. And for him to, even though he's an emotional mess and always dissatisfied with that Sagittarius moon, if he's going to commit to anyone, it's going to be someone who can hold the fort. Jessica Biel holds the fort, you know? So yeah, if for him to be in a relationship, that there might even be an element of like increased fame. Certainly when he was with Britney, his profile went into the stratosphere. Broke up with her, went even further. His fame increased after he shat all over her and threw under a bus. And then he got with Jessica Biel. I think he got with Cameron Diaz as well. So there is, he dates almost as if, it's almost as if all his girlfriends are for like it's like utility. Is the word utilitarian? Am I using the right word? I need to double check. But yes, it's he got into relationships because it works. He might even be falling in love with colleagues. Very often Venus and Capricorn people fall in love with people that they work with. I like a Venus and Capricorn generally. I think that they offer a lot of substance. I'm an Earth Venus as well. Like, I'm not going to get with someone that doesn't have a full-time job. Like, call me superficial. Like, Pisces Venus is out here going, I love a man. I love a man no matter what. Even if he's a drug addict and hits me and has no money and like blah, 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 doesn't take care of his babies. Like, yay, I love him. He makes me feel this way. No. Earth Venuses are like, it doesn't matter how much, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you can give me a good life and we can grow in abundance. An Earth Venus, a Capricorn Venus wants to be in abundance in a relationship, not to be at a loss. So yeah, I guess Jessica Biel is holding the fort while he makes the money. Her career went down though, so that she could have his babies. So I'm wondering, maybe I should check out her chart and do like a synastry with her and Jessica. Let me know if you want me to do that. But I'm wondering if he feels a certain way about her not being the breadwinner. Just putting it out there. Yeah, and he's also like, his Venus plays into the 6th house. So yeah, it's so utility. It's so like, I love you, so I use you kind of thing. I'm not saying that all Venus and Capricorn people are like that, okay? But I mean, as an Earth Venus myself, I have to admit it's not enough that I feel things for you. It's got to work. Logistics matters even more than the orgasm and the feelings. If you want to get an Earth Venus, be of use to them. Make their lives easier. That's how you get us. All right, let's have a look at these placements in Aquarius. Oh, of course, the fuckboys in Aquarius. Of course, the cheaters in Aquarius, man. No offense to all the Aquarius men that are watching. Most of my audience are women, so maybe this won't hope it's not offending anyone. So he's an Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Mars. He just does whatever the F he wants, doesn't he? And his Mars is on the descendant and it's exact 25 degrees. Look at that. He makes a lot of enemies. He starts fights or he gets cranky with people. If you're a 7th houser, you can be quite popular. Like if you've got your sun or your Venus or even your moon in your 7th house, like you can be quite popular and very charming and you're always willing to negotiate. But the thing is with 7th house, it's also your open enemies. So as cooperative and popular as you are, you can also piss people off even without intending to, or people are openly attacking you or criticizing you because it is a public house. If you have a malefic, it's worse because Mars, right? It's the phallus. It's anger, it's sex, it's rage. It's like the masculine planet, right? So if you've got a masculine planet like Mars in a Venusian house of what is generally quite a peaceful house and cooperative house, he brings war, he brings anger, he brings hostility to his partnerships, not just romantic ones, but also business and platonic. So I reckon a lot of people do not like this guy because he's bossy and he's mean and he's controlling at times. I'm not saying he's always like that. I'm sure he's got some good qualities. Does he have any water in his chart? Does he have any compassion? Nah, he's got no personal planets in water. He's got no Cancer planets except for an asteroid, but what the fuck is that? He's got nothing in Scorpio and he's got nothing. Well, he's got a Mercury in Pisces, so it's his one water placement. But yeah, this is, I don't know. I do know, actually. I actually do know. He's just kind of an ass. Like, and Mars and the Sun in the same sign. They're not in a conjunction, but he's got a fiery temper. If you've got the Sun and Mars, the two masculine planets together in the same sign or in a conjunction, like very close proximity, that's like athletes do really well. Like Travis Kelce, they have like an outlet for their aggression and their hyper masculine energy. Justin doesn't really. Like, I know he's a singer, he could put it into there, but he doesn't He's a midheaven in Taurus. He's meant to be the boy next door. He can't be aggressive, because if he's aggressive, and he has been, and look at his reputation. Someone like Travis Kelce, he can lose his temper on the field, but it's part of his kind of image, like to be this hyper masculine, angry person on the field. Like that makes sense, but not Justin. He's an artist, right? He's a singer. He's got to be a Taurus. He's got to be that sweet boy next door that doesn't lose his cool. And also with Chiron up here, he's got to be wounded. Like Britney wounded me. That got him super popular. Like, oh, poor Justin. Britney cheated on him. So having people feel sorry for him. It's like Kate Middleton as well. She's got Chiron and Taurus midheaven, right, together. And when she got sick, everybody's like, oh, Catherine, she's such an angel. So I think the way he could probably redeem his image if he got like sick or something, which I don't wish for him, but if he got wounded or hurt or someone wronged him, then his popularity would go up, because Chiron on the midheaven people, if they're famous specifically, they get popular when they get wounded. They're more beloved when they're hurt. It's like, oh, because it's Chiron. Give the people what they want. Be hurt. Be in pain. Be long-suffering. Kate Middleton. Be long-suffering and everyone will love you. But yeah, he's an Aquarius, so that squares all that Taurus energy. So who he actually is very different from his public image. And people are realizing that now, because Pluto swung through here, and ever since then, things have been going to crap for him. So I'm not saying he can't recover. I think he'll be fine. He just needs to do some good PR, and he needs to be humble a little bit, and do his little walk of shame and repent. And he's got to mean it, and then he'll be fine. But he's got an Aquarius Sun and Mars. They can have a God complex. Aquarians can have a God complex. Remember, the shadow side of an Aquarius is Leo. They'll act like Leos. I also think that he's a bit codependent, because his descendant is an Aquarius. His sun is here. He needs to have a girlfriend or a wife. He needs someone. He also kind of resents them. The Mars in there attacks his partners. He attacks his partners, or he hates his partners to a certain extent, but he also needs them because he's a 7th house sun. I know he's a 6th house sun. Yes, I know. But that descendant, that 7th house cusp, is an Aquarius. So that sun plays into that house. So it makes him needy. He doesn't know who he is unless there is someone mirroring back to him his own reflection. He's needy. He's codependent. Now, Mercury in Pisces, that's his one water placement. It's at 0 degrees and it's squared Uranus. Oh, that's the mental health stuff. If you got squares to your Mercury, it can indicate mental health things. Mercury is the mind and communication. His is in Pisces, which is a really good one for singing. It's because think about what singing is. It's almost like it's a bit of a holy talent, It's singing is as Mariah would say, a gift from God. And he's a great singer. He has it in Pisces. So I'm wondering if he's intuitive. It trines Pluto. Yeah, he's quite intuitive. Yeah, he's very intuitive. I think he knows how to play a game. Because people with psychic talents know how to manipulate people. Just because someone's psychic, it doesn't mean they're a good person. It's energy. You can use it for good, you can use it for bad. Yeah. And he's got this square with Uranus, so I think, oh, okay, bad behavior in his private life, if he's chaotic here, it can lead to anguish, but it can also lead to a loss of friendships, because Mercury governs friends, because it governs Gemini, right? So if you've got squares to a social planet like Venus or Mercury, you could ruin relationships. So yeah, squares with your Mercury, squares with your Venus. Bad behavior in his 4th house, him being chaotic in his personal life, leads to mental health problems and a loss of friendships. So yeah. Ugh, Justin, get your shit together, bro. You're in your 40s. He's having his proper midlife crisis. Mars is moving through his 10th house. Uranus it's been here for ages, but Uranus is still here. So Malefic's moving through the top of the chart, so he's getting some shit, getting some flack. I think when Mars leaves his 11th house, I think things will calm down a bit. But Mars going through his 12th house, he needs to be careful. I think he might need to go to a hospital or see a therapist, a psych. He needs help. Because when Mars goes through, at the end here, if Mars goes through Cancer and then eventually Leo, it's going to be quite painful because 12th house transits can make you paranoid. Doesn't mean anything bad's going to happen, but 12th house transits are very painful. It's one of those, if you got the Sun or Mars or Mercury going through your 12th house, it's kind of like, maybe I should stay in and do some self-reflection. That's that transit. His North Node of Destiny, right? This is the energy he has to master. His it's in the 12th house. I can read it as that, which is kind of like losing touch with reality. It just depends on what is on the North Node, what is aspecting it. There's lots of just because you have a North Node in the 12th house, it doesn't mean you're going to be like Justin Timberlake. Okay, just calm down. For him, a North Node far away from his Sun, far away from all of this, let go of your ego. Your destiny is to be humbled and maybe lose everything. A North Node in the 12th house is a loss of control. It's like the relinquishing of control. And for him, if he's leaving a South Node where his Sun and Mars are, releasing, he's got to release his anger, he's got to release control, he's got to repent, he's got to become a monk, basically, if I read it as a 12th house North Node. If I read it as a 1st house North Node, it's about being alone. Learning to be alone. If you have a 1st house North Node, it doesn't mean you're going to be alone forever and die alone or anything. That's not what I'm saying, but you need to learn to be alone. And he's never been single. So maybe he might be single soon. The North Node is about to enter his 8th house, or it's in there technically right now, but when it enters Pisces, it will be firmly in that 8th house, and then it will move through his 7th house. So the relationships will be the focus. I even think maybe even before then, Jessica, I'm not saying she will leave him, but she might. She might. Because the North Node is about to enter Pisces, and from memory, she's a Pisces Sun. And she just might choose herself. When the North Node enters Pisces, she will be choosing herself. When the North Node goes into the sign of your Sun, it's selfish time. So if she decides to become selfish, she could take so much money from him. Justin, apologize to your wife and go to therapy. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, I've got 30% off my recorded readings, so MP3s, the 20-minute ones. So, if you like this, you want to support me, go purchase one of those, and I'll send you a reading. And I'll see you in the next video. Please forget to like and subscribe and comment, as it helps me out a lot. Thank you. Bye.